This is a summary of the year 2014 in British music charts. The UK Singles Chart and UK Albums Chart are two of many music charts compiled by the official charts company that calculates the best-selling singles albums of the week in the United Kingdom. Since 2004 the chart has been based on the sales of both physical singles albums and digital downloads, with airplay figures excluded from the official chart. From July 6, audio streaming became incorporated into the singles chart, which means that a song gets the equivalent of one chart sale if it is streamed 100 times. The OCC continues to compile a sales chart and a streaming chart. A total of 38 singles and 32 albums have claimed the top spot in 2014. Number 1 artists, in the singles chart: Pharrell Williams, Clean Bandit, Sam Smith, Route 94, DVBBS, Gorgeous, 5 Seconds of Summer, Aloe Black, Sigma, Kiesa, Mr. PROBZ, Second City, Ed Sheeran, Ella Henderson, Oliver Heldens, Ariana Grande, Rixton, Magic. Nico and Vinz, Lilywood, Nicki Minaj, Meghan Trainor, Gareth Malone's All-Star Choir, Band-Aid 30, Mark Ronson and Ben Hino have all claimed their first number 1 single as a lead artist. Williams, Smith, and Black had all reached number 1 as featured artists prior to 2014. In the albums chart, Robbie Williams and Bastille returned to the top of the charts, having reached number 1 in 2013 with Swings Both Ways and Bad Blood. Yumi at 6, Bombay Bicycle Club, KTB, Pharrell Williams, Elbow, Sam Bailey, Sam Smith, Calabro, Royal Blood, Alt J, George Ezra, Ella Henderson and Ben Howard have all claimed their first number 1 album. Rather Be by Clean Bandit featuring Jess Glynn, Happy by Pharrell Williams and All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor have all spent the most weeks at number 1 in the singles chart with 4, and X by Ed Sheeran has spent the most weeks at number 1 in the albums chart with 11. Notable events and records: Happy by Pharrell Williams became the first song released in the 2010s to be certified triple platinum based on sales of more than 1.55 million and 25 million streams by July. All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor became the first single ever to reach the top 40 on streams alone. Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran broke a record for the longest climb to number 1 within the top 40, having taken 19 weeks to reach the summit. On its return to number 1 on December 13, it became the first song ever to peak at number 1 due to streaming, having sold less than the number 2. The top 10 best-selling albums of the year were all by British artists. Chart summary: the following summaries refer to the top 40 official singles chart. These charts are archived by the official charts company here. The date of each chart as given by the official charts company is the Saturday following its publication on Sunday. For example, the chart which is announced by OCC and BBC Radio 1 on Sunday 29 December 2013 would be published on Saturday 4 January 2014. The actual sales, therefore, take place in the previous week. For example, chart dated January 4, 2014 comprises sales from December 22 to 28, 2013. January equals. Week 1, Singles, Happy by Pharrell Williams climbed a place to number 1. The only new entry came from Drunk in Love by Beyoncé copyright featuring Jay-Z at number 29. Albums, Swings Both Ways by Robbie Williams remained at number 1 for a 4th non-consecutive week. Week 2, Singles, Timber by Pitbull featuring Kesha debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Million Pound Girl by Fuse ODG and Control by Matrix and Future Bound featuring Max Marshall at numbers 14 and 18. Albums, Halcyon by Ellie Goulding climbed 5 places to number 1, 65 weeks since its release. Week 3, Singles, Happy by Pharrell Williams returned to number 1 for a second non-consecutive week. New entries included Dare You by Hardwell featuring Matthew Coma, Riptide by Vance Joy, Let It Go by Idina Menzel and Thank You by Busta Rhymes featuring Q-Tip, Kanye West and Lil Wayne at numbers 18, 35, 36 and 37, respectively. Albums, Halcyon by Ellie Goulding remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 4, Singles, Happy remained at number 1 for a third non-consecutive week. New entries included Do It All Over Again by Elyor Fox, Can't Remember to Forget You by Shakira featuring Rihanna, Lover Not a Fighter by Tiny Temper featuring Labyrinth and EXO by Bianca. Copyright at numbers 5, 11, 27 and 37, respectively. Albums: High Hopes by Bruce Springsteen debuted at number 1. February Week 5, singles: Rather Be by Clean Bandit featuring Jess Glynne debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Wild Heart by The Vamps, Braveheart by Neon Jungle, White Walls by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis featuring Schoolboy Q and Hollis, If I Lose Myself by One Republic vs. Alesso and Adore You by Miley Cyrus at numbers 3, 4, 27, 32 and 33, respectively. Albums: Halcyon by Ellie Goulding returned to number 1 for a third non-consecutive week. Week 6, singles: Rather Be remained at number 1 for a second week and Feelin' Myself by will.i.am featuring Miley Cyrus, French Montana and Wiz Khalifa debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Ready for Your Love by Gorgon City featuring MNEK, Crying for No Reason by Katy B, If You Got It by Chris Malenshock and Young Blood by Sophie Ellis-Bextor at numbers 4, 5, 23 and 34, respectively. Albums: Cavalier Youth by Yumi at 6 debuted at number 1. Week 7, singles: Rather Be remained at number 1 for a third week and Happy by Pharrell Williams climbed a place to number 2. New entries included Dibby Dibby Sound by DJ Fresh vs. J Faye featuring Ms. Dynamite, Stay the Night by DJ Stay the Night, Demons by Imagine Dragons and Team by Lorde at numbers 3, 24, 30 and 38, respectively. Albums: So Long, See You Tomorrow by Bombay Bicycle Club debuted at number 1. Week 8, singles: Rather Be remained at number 1 for a fourth week, becoming the longest-running number 1 of the year so far, while Stay the Night by Zed featuring Hayley Williams debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Shot Me Down by David Guetta featuring Skylar Grey, Dance With Me by La Youth featuring Dominique Young Unique, Proper Moist by Dapper Laughs, All of Me by John Legend, Roll of Honor by the Irish Brigade, Best Day of My Life by American Authors, Goodness Gracious by Ellie Goulding and Sealfies by Nina Nesbitt at numbers 4, 11, 15, 28, 33, 34, 36 and 40, respectively. Albums: Little Red by Katy B debuted at number 1. March Week 9, singles: Money on My Mind by Sam Smith debuted at number 1 and Happy climbed a place to number 2. Other new entries included Say Something by A Great Big World and Christina Aguilera, Everything Is Awesome by Tegan and Sara featuring The Lonely Island, Pompeii/Waiting All Night by Bastille and Rudimental featuring Ella Eyre and Fame and TV by MAD at numbers 4, 17, 21 and 32, respectively. Albums: Bad Blood by Bastille returned to number 1 for the first time since March 2013. Week 10, singles: Happy by Pharrell Williams returned to number 1 for a fourth non-consecutive week, becoming only the third single in chart history, and the first for over 50 years, to return to number 1 more than once. Happy also became a million seller this week, making Williams the only act apart from the Beatles to achieve 3 million selling singles in a 12-month period. New entries included Red Lights by Tiesto, Let Go for Tonight by Foxes and Can't Rely on You by Paloma Faith at numbers 6, 7 and 10, respectively. Albums: Bad Blood by Bastille remained at number 1 for a third non-consecutive week. Week 11, singles: My Love by Route 94 featuring Jess Glynne debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Air Balloon by Lily Allen, Magic by Coldplay, Kukuraku by Nick Mulvey and Addicted to You by Avicii at number 7, 10, 26 and 36, respectively. Albums: Girl by Pharrell Williams, which includes the song Happy, debuted at number 1. Week 12, singles: Tsunami by DVBBS and Borges featuring Tiny Temper debuted at number 1. Other new entries included I'm a Freak by Enrique Iglesias featuring Pitbull, How I Feel by Flo Rida, Nasty by Pixie Lott, Into the Blue by Kylie Minogue, Human by Christina Perri, Sealfy by the Chainsmokers and Midnight Memories by One Direction at numbers 4, 8, 9, 12, 14, 17 and 39, respectively. Albums: The Takeoff and Landing of Everything by Elbow debuted at number 1. Week 13, singles: I Got You by Duke Dumont featuring Jax Jones debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Word Up by Little Mix, Kids Again by Example, Nah Nah by Trey Songz and Hey Now by London Grammar at number 6, 13, 20 and 37, respectively. Albums: Symphonica by George Michael debuted at number 1. April. Week 14, singles: She Looks So Perfect by 5 Seconds of Summer debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Changes by Fall and Wadad vs. Fnor, Wizard by Martin Garrix and Jay Hardway, Loyal by Chris Brown featuring Lil Wayne and Tigger, Doctor Who by Tujamo and Plastic Funk featuring Sneakbo and If I Could Change Your Mind by Haim at numbers 3, 7, 15, 21 and 33, respectively. Albums: The Power of Love by Sam Bailey debuted at number 1. Week 15, singles: The Man by Aloe Black debuted at number 1 and All of Me by John Legend climbed 3 places to number 2. Other new entries included Anywhere for You by John Martin, Scream by Paolo Nutini, Empire by Shakira, Your Love by Frankie Knuckles, Stay High by Tove Lo featuring Hippie Sabotage and Do You Want to Build a Snowman? By Kristen Bell at number 7, 12, 25, 29, 33 and 40, respectively. Albums: Education and War by Kaiser Chiefs debuted at number 1. Week 16, singles: Nobody to Love by Sigma debuted at number 1 and Last Night by the Vamps debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Fancy by Iggy Azalea featuring Charlie XCX, Not Giving Up by the Saturdays, Bad by David Guetta and Shoutek featuring Vasi, Coming Home by Kaiser Chiefs, For the First Time and Forever by Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel and Better Man by Paolo Nutini at numbers 5, 19, 22, 31, 38 and 40, respectively. Albums: Education and War remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 17, singles: Hideaway by Kiesa debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Touch by Shift K3Y, A Billion Girls by L. Fox, German Whip by Meridian Dad featuring Big H and JME, Cannonball by Shoutek and Justin Prime featuring Matthew Coma and Turn Down for What by DJ Snake and Lil Jon at numbers 3, 11, 13, 29 and 38, respectively. Albums: Caustic Love by Paolo Nutini debuted at number 1. Week 18, singles: Waves by Mr. PROBZ debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Take Me Home by Cash Cash featuring B. Briggsha, Calling All Hearts by DJ Cassidy featuring Robin Thicke and Jessie J, Welcome to the Jungle by Neon Jungle, Solo Dancing by Indiana, Forgive Me by Joel Compass, Not a Bad Thing by Justin Timberlake, Gods and Monsters by Lana Del Rey and Down by the Cooks at numbers 5, 6, 7, 14, 34, 35, 39 and 40, respectively. Albums: Caustic Love by Paolo Nutini remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 19, singles: Summer by Calvin Harris debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Only Love Can Hurt Like This by Paloma Faith, Love Never Felt So Good by Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake, It's On Again by Alicia Keys featuring Kendrick Lamar and Marilyn Monroe by Pharrell Williams at numbers 20, 27, 39 and 40, respectively. Albums: Caustic Love by Paolo Nutini remained at number 1 for a third week. Week 20, singles: Waves by Mr. PROBZ returned to number 1 for a second non-consecutive week. New entries included Wild Wild Love by Pitbull featuring GRL, Holding On to Heaven by Foxes, Children of the Universe by Molly, Wiggle by Jason Derulo featuring Snoop Dogg and Birthday by Katy Perry at numbers 6, 14, 33, 34 and 38, respectively. Albums: She's by Lily Allen debuted at number 1. Week 21, singles: I Will Never Let You Down by Rita Ora debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Calm After the Storm by The Common Linnets, Rise Like a Phoenix by Conchita Wurst, Good Girls by 5 Seconds of Summer, One by Ed Sheeran, Real Girls Eat Cake by the Janoskians and Undo by Sanna Nielsen at numbers 9, 17, 19, 20, 37 and 40, respectively. Albums, XSCAPE by Michael Jackson debuted at number 1. Week 22, Singles, Stay With Me by Sam Smith debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Dangerous Love by Fuse ODG featuring Sean Paul, Extraordinary by Clean Bandit featuring Shana Bass, A Sky Full of Stars by Coldplay, 10 Feet Tall by Afrojack featuring Rabel, Salute by Little Mix and Pills and Potions by Nicki Minaj at numbers 3, 5, 15, 20, 35 and 38, respectively. Albums, Ghost Stories by Coldplay debuted at number 1. June equals. Week 23, Singles, I Wanna Feel by Second City debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Jubel by Kalangand, Beating Heart by Ellie Goulding, Heart and Soul by Twin Atlantic, West Coast by Lana Del Rey and Shotgun by M.A.D. at numbers 3, 9, 17, 21 and 30, respectively. Albums, In the Lonely Hour by Sam Smith debuted at number 1. Week 24, Singles, Sing by Ed Sheeran debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Hope Ain't a Bad Thing by the Neon Brotherhood, The Drop by Lethal Bizzle featuring Cherry Von Sol, Ease A by Kasabian, Half Light by Wilkinson featuring Tom Kane and Revolution by A3hab, Nervo and Umit Ozem at numbers 16, 20, 22, 25 and 37, respectively. Albums, In the Lonely Hour by Sam Smith remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 25, Singles, Ghost by Ella Henderson debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Wasted by Tiesto featuring Matthew Coma, Noble England by Rick Mile, That's Not Me by Skepta featuring JME, We Are One by Pitbull featuring Jennifer Lopez and Claudia Litt, Stronger Than Ever by Raleigh Ritchie and Believe Me by Lil Wayne featuring Drake at numbers 3, 7, 21, 29, 30 and 36, respectively. Albums, 4813 by Kasabian debuted at number 1. Week 26, Singles, Ghost by Ella Henderson remained at number 1 for a second week and Don't Stop by 5 Seconds of Summer debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Budapest by George Ezra, Here For You by Gorgon City featuring Laura Welsh, Neon Lights by Demi Lovato and Around Town by The Cooks at numbers 4, 7, 15 and 35, respectively. Albums, Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey debuted at number 1. July equals. Week 27, Singles, Gecko by Oliver Heldens and Becky Hill debuted at number 1. Other new entries included One More Day by Example, Good Kisser by Usher, Don't, and Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, Tremor by Martin Garrix, Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike and Yeah by Austin Mahone featuring Pitbull at numbers 4, 10, 19, 26, 30 and 34, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran debuted at number 1. Week 28, Singles, Problem by Ariana Grande featuring Iggy Azalea debuted at number 1, becoming the first number 1 based on both sales and audio streams. Other new entries included Chandelier by Syar, Make You Bounce by DJ Fresh vs. TC featuring Little Nicky, Stolen Dance by Milky Chance and Somebody to You by The Vamps featuring Demi Lovato at numbers 6, 10, 32 and 39, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 29, Singles, It's My Birthday by will.i.am and Cody Wise debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Right Here by Jess Glynn, Classic by MKTO and Don't Look Back by Matrix and Future Bound featuring Tanya Lacey at numbers 6, 24 and 38, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a third week. Week 30, Singles, Me and My Broken Heart by Rixton debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Your Love by Nicole Scherzinger, If I Go by Ella Air and Way We Are by Car featuring Melissa Steele at numbers 6, 16 and 30, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a fourth week. August equals. Week 31, Singles, Crazy Stupid Love by Cheryl Cole featuring Tiny Temper debuted at number 1 and Rude by Magic debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Boom Clap by Charlie XCX, Always by MK featuring Eleanor, Louder by Neon Jungle and Jungle by X Ambassadors and Jamie and Commons featuring Jay-Z at number 6, 12, 14 and 18, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a fifth week. Week 32, Singles, Rude by Magic climbed a place to number 1. New entries included Faded by Tsu, Hopeful by Bars and Melody, Kisses for Breakfast by Melissa Steele featuring Puff San, One Day by Baker Matt and Down on My Luck by Vic Mensa at numbers 3, 5, 10, 15 and 37, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a sixth week. Week 33, Singles, Am I Wrong by Nico and Vince debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Love Runs Out by One Republic, Tough Love by Jessie Ware and It Was Always You by Maroon 5 at numbers 3, 34 and 40, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for a seventh week. Week 34, Singles, Am I Wrong by Nico and Vince remained at number 1 for a second week. New entries included Giant in My Heart by Kiesa, Teller by Rizzle Kicks, Black Widow by Iggy Azalea featuring Rita Ora, What Are You Waiting For? By The Saturdays and I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith at numbers 4, 14, 32, 38 and 40, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for an eighth week. Week 35, Singles, Lovers on the Sun by David Guetta featuring Sam Martin debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Shake It Off by Taylor Swift, My Head is a Jungle by Wanklemit and Emma Louise, Tonight by Union J and My Type by Saint Motel at numbers 4, 5, 9 and 34, respectively. Albums, Stars by Calabro debuted at number 1. September equals. Week 36, Singles, Prayer in Sea by Lilywood and Robin Schulz debuted at number 1 and Maps by Maroon 5 debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Rari Workout by Lethal Bizzle featuring JME and Temper T, Break Free by Ariana Grande featuring Zed and This Is How We Do by Katy Perry at numbers 11, 20 and 38, respectively. Albums, Royal Blood by Royal Blood debuted at number 1. Week 37, Singles, Prayer in Sea remained at number 1 for a second week and Won't Look Back by Duke Dumont debuted at number 2, becoming Dumont's first single to miss the number 1 position. Other new entries included Superheroes by The Script, Ugly Heart by GRL, Pushing On by Oliver Dollar and Jimmy Jules, Blame It On Me by George Ezra and Amnesia by 5 Seconds of Summer at numbers 3, 11, 15, 27 and 38, respectively. Albums, In the Lonely Hour by Sam Smith returned to number 1 for a third non-consecutive week. Week 38, Singles, Blame by Calvin Harris featuring John Newman debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Walking with Elephants by Ten Walls, New Flame by Chris Brown featuring Usher and Rick Ross and Centuries by Fall Out Boy at numbers 6, 10 and 22, respectively. Albums, In the Lonely Hour remained at number 1 for a fourth non-consecutive week. Week 39, Singles, Changing by Sigma featuring Paloma Faith debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Lullaby by Professor Green featuring Tori Kelly and Take Me to Church by Hozier at numbers 4 and 35, respectively. Albums, No Sound Without Silence by The Script debuted at number 1. October equals. Week 40, Singles, Bang Bang by Jessie J, Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj debuted at number 1. Entering at 33. All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor became the first single to enter the top 40 on streams alone. Other new entries included a cover version of All About That Bass by Power Music Workout and I Know by Shift K3Y at numbers 13 and 25, respectively. Albums, This Is All Yours by Alt J debuted at number 1. Week 41, Singles, All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor climbed 32 places to number 1. New entries included Sunlight by The Magician featuring Years and Years, Let It Be by Labyrinth, Come Back by Alaire, Unmissable by Gorgon City featuring Zach Abel, Say You Love Me by Jessie Ware and Zombie by Jamie T at number 7, 11, 12, 19, 22 and 36, respectively. Albums: Wanted on Voyage by George Ezra climbed 3 places to number 1. Week 42, singles: All About That Bass remained at number 1 for a second week. New entries included Anaconda by Nicki Minaj, Don't Tell 'Em by Jeremy featuring YG, Glow by Ella Henderson, Resonance by Lou Bug featuring Tale Riley, She Came to Give It to You by Usher featuring Nicki Minaj and God Only Knows by Brian Wilson and various artists at numbers 3, 5, 7, 13, 16 and 20, respectively. Albums: Wanted on Voyage by George Ezra remained at number 1 for a second week. Week 43, singles: All About That Bass remained at number 1 for a third week and Shake It Off by Taylor Swift climbed 2 places to number 2. New entries included Steal My Girl by One Direction, Oh Cecilia by The Vamps featuring Shawn Mendes, Guts Over Fear by Eminem featuring Sia, Bullet by Watermer Currency T, Dirty Love by Wilkinson featuring Tale Riley, Drunk and Incapable by Kreishan featuring Melissa Steele and Break the Rules by Charlie XCX at numbers 3, 9, 10, 15, 20, 27 and 35, respectively. Albums: Chapter 1 by Ella Henderson debuted at number 1. November Week 44, singles: All About That Bass remained at number 1 for a fourth week and Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran climbed 2 places to number 2. New entries included Bump and Grind 2014 by Wiz and Odyssey vs. R. Kelly, TINA by Fuse ODG featuring Angel, Animals by Maroon 5 and Welcome to New York by Taylor Swift at numbers 3, 9, 32 and 39, respectively. Albums: I Forget Where We Were by Ben Howard debuted at number 1. Week 45, singles: Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran climbed a place to number 1, 19 weeks after entering the chart, completing the longest climb ever to number 1. New entries included Wicked Games by Parafakuva featuring Anna Naklab, Open Wide by Calvin Harris featuring Big Sean and I Lived by One Republic at numbers 6, 23 and 29, respectively. Albums: 1989 by Taylor Swift debuted at number 1. Week 46, singles: I Don't Care by Cheryl Cole debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Outside by Calvin Harris featuring Ellie Goulding, Real Love by Tom Odell, No Good and Goodbye by The Script and Only by Nicki Minaj featuring Drake, Lil Wayne and Chris Brown at numbers 6, 21, 26 and 35, respectively. Albums: X by Ed Sheeran returned to number 1 for a 9th non-consecutive week. Week 47, singles: Children in Need charity record, Wake Me Up by Gareth Malone's All-Star Choir debuted at number 1. Other new entries included You Ruin Me by the Veronicas, Like I Can by Sam Smith, Blank Space by Taylor Swift and I by Kendrick Lamar at numbers 8, 9, 11 and 20, respectively. Albums: The Endless River by Pink Floyd debuted at number 1. Week 48, singles: Do They Know It's Christmas? By Band-Aid 30 debuted at number 1 and Real Love by Clean Bandit and Jess Glynn debuted at number 2. Other new entries included Wrapped Up by Olly Murs featuring Travie McCoy, Dangerous by David Guetta featuring Sam Martin, 6 Words by Wretch 32, Wait on Me by Rixton, Night Changes by One Direction and In the Heat of the Moment by Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds at numbers 3, 5, 8, 12, 23 and 26, respectively. Albums: Fall by One Direction debuted at number 1. December Week 49, singles: These Days by Take That debuted at number 1 beating Do They Know It's Christmas? On physical sales and streaming as the latter was not available on these platforms. Other new entries included Jealous by Labyrinth, Air Guitar by McBusted, The Hanging Tree by James Newton Howard and Jennifer Lawrence, Hold Back the River by James Bay, Desire by Years and Years, What I Did for Love by David Guetta featuring Emily Sander copyright, No Enemies by Kiesa and 7/11 by Beonka copyright at number 7, 12, 14, 18, 22, 24, 30 and 36, respectively. Albums: Never Been Better by Olly Murs debuted at number 1. Week 50, Singles. Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran returned to number 1 for a second non-consecutive week on streaming, thereby becoming the first song to reach the summit due to streaming. Other new entries included I Loved You by Blonde featuring Melissa Steele, Yours by Ella Henderson and Make It Rain by Ed Sheeran at numbers 7, 16 and 38, respectively. Albums 3 by Take That debuted at number 1. Week 51, Singles. Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars debuted at number 1. Other new entries included Last All Night by Oliver Heldens featuring Stewart, Drown by Bring Me the Horizon and B.O. by Fifth Harmony at numbers 5, 17 and 21, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran returned to number 1 for a 10th non-consecutive week. Week 52, Singles. X Factor winner, Ben Eno debuted at number 1 with Something I Need. Other new entries included Up by Olly Murs featuring Demi Lovato, Got No Fans by the Wheeled Stone Raider and Go All Night by Gorgon City featuring Jennifer Hudson at numbers 4, 5 and 14, respectively. Albums, X by Ed Sheeran remained at number 1 for an 11th non-consecutive week. Number 1s. Number 1 singles The sales figures since the chart week ending July 12 include a proportion for audio streams and cannot be compared to previous weeks. See separate singles sales chart below. Number 1 single downloads all the same as the number 1 singles listed above apart from. Number 1 single sales since the chart week ending July 12. The singles chart included a factor for audio streaming, so the official charts company started compiling a separate sales chart. The number ones were all the same apart from. Number 1 audio streaming number 1 albums number 1 album downloads number 1 compilation albums year-end charts biggest singles This chart, published by the official charts company on February 18, 2015, is based on sales and streams for the whole of 2014. Note: figures without a reference must always be deduced from the two others according to these operations. Sales plus equals chart sales / 100 equals streams / chart sales equals sales. Biggest selling albums Notes. Biggest selling compilation albums Notes. See also, 2014 in British music, list of albums released in 2014, list of UK top 10 singles in 2014. Footnotes. References.